Power as well, the speed of his hands. You're absolutely right, Nigel. Along with Klinger and people like that, they're the consistent stars of the class.
The extraordinary thing here, I mean, we've seen him on social media showing off his new batting techniques with a huge sledgehammer, and practicing hitting a tyre with it. So he's working his core, working his legs, you know, really trying to sort of drive forward the power of ball striking. You know, forget all this stuff about bats and big bats and boundaries and all that kind of stuff. The way these guys train is all about hitting the ball as far as it can be hit, and he's one of the guys who hits it the furthest.
Surely that was just a joke.
I don't think he was.
Serious training.
It was a joke. If it was a joke, if he'd have done it only just the twice. He was standing there for about half an hour smacking this thing.
No wonder he's had a little bit of an injury problem. So anyway, what we do know is that he can hit sixes. This is his record since 2014, which is incredibly good. Ricky Vessel's there not far behind, but he's played quite a few more games, so it seems to be pretty handy when it's hitting six time.
Oh, absolutely. And again, he's not the world's biggest bloke as well, but he just does it from standing still. I always worry when you have people who just sort of slog and they are giving it absolutely everything to get a boundary. You think, yeah, you'll have your day 1 in 10 and you'll come off. He does it standing still from the crease, picking the ball up at the back of a length, hitting it out of the park. That must be so soul-destroying for a bowler seeing that.
Are they a side that seem to be well organised and well planned? I mean, you mentioned Graham Wagg there. Graham tends to come on with, 4 or 5 overs, 6 overs to go to bowl at the death. Tim van der Gooten has done a brilliant job for him. He's got 18 wickets for them. They seem to know when they're coming in and out of the attack.
Yeah, there does seem to be a formula, and I think the best sides will have a general idea about who's going to be doing what when. But the even better sides, the ones that go that step further and perhaps win tournaments, are the ones where if that plan gets thrown out of whack, that you have enough quality in your side to be able to change things up, throw the ball to somebody else who's not expecting it, and have them come and do the job for you. And I suppose that's the one thing for Glamorgan. They've been a team that has that in the last couple of years has really gone from strength to strength in terms of their performances. They haven't won the title yet. Are they good enough in terms of having all of those plans in place to kind of mix things up when it doesn't all go perfectly well for them and still win? That's the question.
Absolutely, it's a bit of a conundrum for them. If you look at the numbers, it tells you in the last 3 years their win ratio is 66, nearly 66%. Only topped by one team, last year's champions not. Last year they got to the semi-final. A year before that they got to the quarter-final. So Butch's point is a good one. Yeah. Winning the key games is still a problem for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But you generally know when you're producing players and you're trying to get through to the very top, you have to have a few hiccups along the way. And the group stage is so hard to get out of. To be in that top 4, it's both north and south. It's such a mission to get out of them. You then do. And everything, all form has gone really, and it's all about getting it right on the night. And the more you're in that position, the more chance you have of getting it right the very next time. You just don't want to have to go through 3 or 4 losses in quarterfinals, semi-finals before you get it right to win the final.
One thing about the Glamorgan team that might worry you going forward is, do they have quite enough young Welshmen, the likes of Kieran Carlson and Rodri and Noah and Donald? Do they have enough of those guys coming up behind the likes of Hogan and Way, etc., kind of take over and to continue this run going? Or does it come to a standstill, to a stop, when they're sort of, imports from other counties, whether they're sort of coal pack players, all had enough and moved on? Do they have the quality behind them to keep it going? And that's the question for Robert Croft and for Glamorgan and for Welsh cricket, really. What do you got? What's coming up behind you? And if you have got these young players, get them in the team and play them. As they've done with Kieran Carlson. Don't let them rot away in the second team doing nothing. Get them out in the forefront, and let's see what they can do.
It's quite loud here, isn't it?
I can't hear a word.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, it's fine.
All I can hear is Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams has done him a favour.
What about a catalyst for that run of 5 wins out of 6 games? I don't know if you did the game, but we were down at the Oval. It's a great run chase. Can that just lift a team and send them through the next few games?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially this game is all about individual players finding form, finding confidence. I hate it when people say, you've got to try and tweak the balance of a team. You've got to start bringing in different players. What you need is the players you pick to do their job. Nonsense about what's your role. No, your role as a batsman, score some runs, win the game. Role as a bowler, same type of thing. If players are confident doing that, you can go on good runs, and that's what happened.
Okay, well, we think Glamorgan are in pretty good shape then going into this one. Remember, if they win this game, they will then qualify for the quarter-final. So after the break, we'll concentrate and focus a bit more on the oppo. Sussex, of course, well, truth is, they haven't played particularly well on this ground. In fact, they're winless so far. They play very well away from home, and no Luke Wright, so Danny Briggs captains the side. We'll discuss that in just a moment.
All out. Unibet sponsors T20 on Sky Sports.
I've brought good drink.
Anderson strikes again. Definitely a run out.
I'm gonna rain this way again.
And that is dead.
I am the rain.
India are in all sorts of trouble.
I am the spy.
Absolutely club.
That's why I bought Jimmy Anderson.
Before the play.
Not shot. A delighted Chris Wokes made it to 100.
I am the raindrop out at sea. I call
Swatted, and swatted for 6. What a shot.
crashing.
Chris Wokes finds himself on all 3 honours boards.
100th Test match wicket at Lords.
I think rain is the only thing which can save India.
Rain, rain, rain.
Oh, beautifully bowled. Oh, he's given it this time.
I am the rain.
All gone. This has been a steamrolling by England at Lords.
Yeah, England very much in control of that 5-match series at the moment. They're 2-0 up. Of course, Saturday we're at Trent Bridge, and they've been boosted by the addition of Ben Stokes, cleared of a fray today, so he's added to that squad. They now have a squad of 14. As far as the teams are concerned, well, Sussex, no David Visa today and no Luke Wright, the captain, so that means that Danny Briggs captains the side. I think it's the first time that he'll have done that in the first team, well, ever before, so good luck to him. As far as Glamorgan, well, you might have heard of the toss with Dominic. They are very happy with the 11 they have, and they are unchanged. They're on a pretty good run as well. They've won 5 from 6. And Corky joins us. And what about Sussex then? Why are they having such a good time away from not so good here? What do you put that down to?
Sometimes it goes like that because of a side that is obviously you'd think with a side like that you try and make very quick wickets with the like of Archer. We know that what he did in the IPL, Chris Jordan. So maybe the surface isn't helping them as much as they'd like to. I think it's down to the batting really more than anything. I think they've got everything else covered in their bowling unit. They've got a very nervous captain tonight, Danny Briggs. I know that. It is his first time he's ever captained. But it should be better than what it is. Their numbers suggest that they should have a better home record, and they haven't. And it's very difficult to put their finger on it.
Laurie Evans aside, the batting's not been good enough. Phil Salt at the top of the order, so you've got a couple of guys at the top of the order in Luke Wright and Phil Salt that you would imagine get the best chance to bat, the most overs to bat. They've got a chance to go out there and make big runs. Luke Wright has been quiet this year. Phil Salt's done okay. Laurie Evans has been by far and away their most productive run scorer. The rest have done nothing. They just haven't scored the runs. And yes, they've struggled. They haven't played as well here at home. The conditions in terms of the pitches haven't really suited their attack as much as they would do elsewhere. But even given all of that, with that bowling lineup, you should still win more games than you lose. What we've got to do is get the sort of like the bare minimum on the board, but they haven't managed to do that. They've been way short of par, and even with a bowling lineup like the one they've got, they've struggled to win games. They've had four washouts as well, which hasn't helped them. But if you're going to win a tournament like this, or even get out of the group, you've got to win some of your home matches. You can't go, you can't win none of them.
But do we have some sympathy for them? Because perhaps it isn't a surface. So what would you do? I mean, you've been with Derbyshire this year. Would you be in the groundsman's ear saying, just leave a little bit of grass on, give us something for our bowlers?
We had a very similar type of attack, which was pace orientated at Derbyshire, and we didn't bat well enough at certain times, and we didn't also bowl well enough at certain times. It doesn't matter what the surface is, you've got to win games. They are a very fine bowling unit. They have all bases covered in the best leg spinner in the world, Danny Briggs, the pace that they've got. So it shouldn't matter what that surface is, they should bowl well. But I don't think you can say to the groundsman, leave grass on, because then that brings the opposition in. It's about trying to get pace on the pitch, which maybe will help the batsman a little bit. But you're never going to get this at Sussex. How long is it since we've, played? Years for you, years for all of us. It's still the same, but it's still the same. It's still been a low, slow deck, get in on it, get big runs, but it's never been a fluent batting wicket. It's a sort of wicket, when you bowl on it, it sticks in the surface.
You've got to win this game, though, Sussex. How do you approach this? If you're Jason Gillespie, what are you saying to your boys?
I'm saying nothing. All the talking has been done. We've played 12 matches already. We know we haven't scored the runs we've got to score. We know if we put a score on the board, then we've got the bowling attack to defend it. Let's go out there and just be a professional batting unit. Somebody take the responsibility for posting a score for us, and I guarantee you we'll get over the line. Fortunately for them, they've got a game in hand and everybody else as well. So it's not do or die, but it might as well be. You've got to start winning your home game somewhere.
Okay, well, down here on the South Coast, they love their sport, and it's not just cricket. Rob Key's got a very special guest with him.
Yeah, I have. I've got a Premiership footballer, Dale Stevens, plays for Brighton. They got a massive game on Sunday against Man United. What do you do to prepare even for a game against Man U?
Try and keep it all very similar, really. It's one of those games you look at the start of the season when the fixtures come out, and you look forward to it. But like I say, it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that we're all looking forward to.
Well, I'm a football badger, so who's the best player you've played against and why?
Probably last year, Coutinho was probably one of the standout players in this league. That's why he went on to move to obviously Barcelona at the end. Probably that side was a strong side. They had a lot of pace and power up top, and we had a hard day's work that day.
Now, T20 cricket and cricket in general has evolved a lot over the last couple of years, especially in this format, and especially where batsmen are concerned. What about football, though? In your time, how has football evolved?
Yeah, it has massively. I mean, when I came through as a 16-year-old, not only the game itself, but a lot of the characters were, obviously different back then, and the sports science has come in massively over the last few years, and it's evolving all the time. You look at the wage structures of the big top teams in England, especially. It's exciting to be amongst it.
When you start a season that you're doing at the moment with Brighton, what's the goal by the end of the year?
To build on what we achieved last year, I think we finished quite strong. I think the chairman's, he had a meal last night, and he wants to improve on what we achieved last year, and that's been the message from day one of pre-season.
Now, who's the better pundit? You're on Sky on Sunday. Who's the better pundit, Carragher or Neville?
I'm going to sit well on the fence because I know they're probably going to be watching the game in the weekend. But they're doing a great job, and it's nice to watch them, slay somebody else now and again. But yeah, they're doing a great job for Sky. And, I'll mention Liam as well. Liam Rossini's just gone into the Sky team as well, doing a great job.
Brilliantly sat on the fence. Are you looking forward to tonight?
Yeah, it'll be good fun. The sun's come out. A lot of people in. I'm sure we'll enjoy the game.
Perfect. Best of luck on Sunday. We'll be watching.
Thanks very much, guys. Diplomatic stuff there, and Rob Key would have loved that because he does fancy himself as a little bit of a footballer. Right then, we're just a few moments away then from the live action. Crowd is building pretty nicely, and it's Glamorgan who have won the toss. They're going to have a bowl first in just a moment.
Wide, Unibet sponsors T20 on Sky Sports.
Now with 0% APR. The Fiat 500. The Fiat 500L. Fiat 500X. Get a 500 X for 0. All available at 0% APR.
With this powerful digital motor, a new era begins. Dyson has reinvented the vacuum. Definitely not a little portable. This is now your big machine to deep clean right through the home. So powerful, in fact, we've stopped developing corded vacuums.
Yeah.
Say a few words, totally unprepared, of course. Firstly, happy birthday, Greg. We have known each other for a very long time. Don't give me that look. Classic Greg. And secondly, because Greg is by home insurance to compare the market, I'm splitting the bill. So, if you'd all like to raise a glass to Greg! To Greg! Meerkat meals. Get 2 for 1 on starters, mains, and desserts when you buy, so compare the market.
At LV, our car insurance comes from the heart. Our uninsured driver promise means if you're hit by someone without insurance, your no-claim discount will stay intact. And you'll have no excess to pay. For cover from just £199, go direct to lv.com.
Go, 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 go! Not long now until the new season gets underway.
Enter a trance with me. Go, 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 go! And Tyra, we'll come with it, Jeff. Don't stop, don't stop, don't stop. Go, 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 go. It's time to take your seat. It's the start of an unmissable season on Sky Sports. The players are out, and it's live. Go, 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 go.
Whoever did this is a sandwich.
This is the word sociopath. Salt and one that didn't I took you. I didn't kill my mother. Oh, I'm in.
Let the games begin.
That's tea. Unibet sponsors T20 on Sky Sports.
when I walked out to bat all the time, the bloke on my shoulder was always beating me up, and I couldn't control him very well.
Every morning of a test match or one day international was like an exam.
I just thought I wasn't good enough. It just felt like it was 60, 50 metres away, and I just could not get the ball to him.
You couldn't speak to him between the two because he was like a man possessed.
These guys were amazing players, and both should have played 150 test matches. Marcus has returned home from the Ashes, allowed cricket to destigmatise.
You almost feel like you're watching yourself back from outside your body.
If I could convince myself that I had a bloke at the other end, that was just so much easier to try and get.
Big bad Merv at his worst. This guy's coming to beat you up, knock you out, take everything you work for. There is actually what gives you up to him.
You're not just going to let him play, you're going to try to upset. Even say to me, I'm not going to brush my teeth today, I'm going to make sure my breakfast is as bad as they can be.
That's the how I want. Maybe they'd fill my head full of more nonsense.
Nonsense.
Write it, read it, rip it, fight a temp. Well, a great feature on the mental side of the game. The third episode will be played out during the next Test match. Ben Stokes included in that squad. Dominic Cork now and Mark Butcher for you.
Thanks very much, Nighty. Hello all and welcome to Vitality Blast action from the South Group. The first Central County ground, Hove. It's the Sharks versus Glamorgan. Glamorgan go all the way to qualifying for the quarterfinals with a win here against the home side Sussex today. Sussex, well, a win will keep them in the hunt, that is for sure. The team fresh off the back of 5 wins in 6 matches. One was only brought to an end by Somerset just recently. Sussex, on the other hand, have had an absolute nightmare when it comes to bringing in any points whatsoever on their home turf. We're hoping to reverse that today. Glamorgan won the toss and chose to field. Both captains were happy with the outcome there. Pitch probably will play a little bit on the slow side, may even be a little bit aggressive. Some of the best bowlers in the world on show, particularly in this Sussex 11. Right now, the microscope is going to be on their batsman. Phil Salt opening the batting with Harry Finch. Right, Sussex's club captain, T20 captain, is out injured, and they will take his place at the top. Pleasant enough evening here at home. It's a very warm welcome to Dominic Cork.
Yeah, good evening, Mark. Good evening, everybody. Looking forward to this. Always a good spectacle down here. Beautiful ground, beautiful outfield, perfect outfield, flat wicket. Rory Smith to bowl for Glamorgan. Beautiful evening on the south coast.
Aggressive intent from Salt right from the off. Tiny little bit of away shape on the hand of Rory Smith. It's Jack, no doubt. That's Sussex cap. Bowling attack that really envy of T20 teams around the globe that cannot win here at home. Flying onto the middle of the blade. Scoops for not winning at home to you, Dom?
No, I don't think so. It's always been the same down here at Sussex. The wickets have generally been flat, difficult to time. It's one ground where you just got to try and get yourself in and then look to go up and over the infield. Obviously, we'll do right tonight. For Sussex, we've still got Laurie Evans there. Top scorer for Sussex this year. Strike rate 42 as well for Laurie Evans. So, into against Sussex team total. He's waiting there with his helmet on.
sharp as they come.
Well, from their oldest player as well, Michael Hogan, 37-year-old, diving away. Finch to face his first delivery.
Oh, he's gone up and over. And I think it's carried all the way. Extraordinary piece of timing for your very first delivery. This is the outlook that Dominic Cork is calling for.
Yeah, not bad. He hasn't played T20 for Sussex for 2 years as well. First ball, Bosch out the park. Pick me now, Jason.
For a single to win the first. 8 for none.
Yeah, it's about the intent. I think when you look at what Sussex have done throughout this competition, they've struggled with runs, they've struggled to chase, they've struggled to set. And I think that's down to the intent they set in the first power play. I think you've got to be brave in the power play. It's not easy to go out as a batsman in the first 6 and think, okay, just got to go for it. Back your ability to hit the ball down the ground, or if it's a bit short, pull it.
Andrew Salter into the attack, as he does so often for Glamorgan in the power play. Excellent economy and under 8 runs and over. Yes, love that top this year. Give it a massive amount of air. Change his angle up, roll over, around the wicket. One to drift the arm ball. Canny operator. That's the way to deal with him. Finch looks in the mood.
Well, you're right, there's 2 ways to play in the power play against an off spinner that's got long on and deep mid-wicket out, is get across and look to go up and over the 2 men that are set behind square, or if he bowls outside off stump, try and get it up and over the 5 fielders that are in the circle. So they're the 2 options. If it's spinning, maybe go leg side.
I just think that those paddles, burst sweeps on these slow decks are fraught with danger. Risk for one with the field up inside the offside. Pitch is off and running.
Wait on.
Just gives that lack of pace onto the bat. These batsmen have to do all the work themselves. That's why within the power play, when the field's up, easier to chip it over the infield. Now he's missed the top of the stumps.
Well, he bounced. You wouldn't have thought that here. Right on target. He's actually nicking. So nice.
He's picked him out. Would you believe it? He's picked him out at long on. It's Nair and Donald there at long on who's pounched the catch. Glamorgan have their first.
He was moving about the crease, wasn't he? This one, flatter little arm ball it was. Gets it on the bottom of the bat. Just wanted to look to just chip it down the ground. Picked out Donald. Simple catch for him. Big wicket for Glamorgan. A good start for Salter as well. Salt goes for 1. Sussex 13 for 1.
shining light for the Sussex Sharks with the bat. 50 runs to the next man in the list, Luke Wright, who is out with injury. Just the start Sussex didn't want.
Yeah, still a long. It's on the bottom of the bat. Really go through with it, or probably could have hit it out the top. Simple catch for Donald.
Short boundary out there, that's why they can't get back for two. So they didn't have far to come in from backward square leg. Rawlins warming up with two bats for the price of one. Dismissal was curious, wasn't it? Saw that decided to move himself around the crease and outsmarted himself. But then, when it came to striking the ball, that had been a team that had been flying, posting big scores, batsmen in that full of confidence. It would have gone 30 rows back. Just chipped him, really. No point did he try to give it the full Monty. Finch is in belligerent mood, though. Beautifully timed through the leg side.
Well, it's the intent, and I think he's shown that straight away. Even though he's not played a lot of 2020, look, he's going down the wicket, he's going at Smith, and decided that with the field up and the short boundary, he's going to look to work it leg side. It's a good shot, it's a good play. Yeah.
That'll do. That'll do. Put the bowler under pressure, you get a little bit of luck.
And because they put Long on back, because he was looking to come down, this one gets a little outside edge. Good piece of bowling, really. A bit of swing, a bit of seam. Just wondering what us commentators do while we're just waiting to come on air. Let's see. Rob Key there, just... Right, Rob, did see you.
Health and vitality regime here in the pod, as always. 23 for 1. The viewing platform down there on the beach side.
Sure, I'd fancy that. It's an observation tower. It looks too high to me.
360, it's known as down here. Just not great if you're one of the people with the flats down there on the front. People peering in through your windows.
Yeah.
Brilliant again. Total commitment from Carlson. Van Gooten is the new bowler from Cromwell End.
You'd expect that from a side that are going well in the competition. Commitment from everybody in the field, backed up. Lots of chat as well.
That's gone way up in the air. Taken. Hogan swallows it up without having to leave the 30-yard circle. Finch's bright and breezy innings has come to an end.
Back of a length, because mid-off and mid-on are up in the circle. He wanted to go up and over. He just doesn't get there. Ends up trying to hit a length ball. Good catch, this. How he keeps his eyes on it. Fingers pointing up, simple catch. Good catch by Michael Hogan. He knows, yeah. Could have slipped through. Important wickets these for Glamorgan, putting pressure on Sussex early on. Finch goes to 22. Sussex 25 for 2.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a man. He's trying to break down the door. He's in the house.
Oh my God. It takes a certain kind of person to run towards danger rather than away from it. For those of us that choose this life, there's no place.
This is the fourth match of Delroy Rawlins' fledgling career. It's a high score of 49. Standing in trying to get some sort of an idea of the way forward on this surface from the non-striker's end. This is the end of Finch. Up there, said hello to those on the 360 viewing platform before landing in the hands of Michael Hogan.
Bit of pressure now on Laurie Evans, leading run scorer. He's going to need to score tonight. And the pressure at home, Sussex. Keep your eye on this man's action. This is about to deliver the ball. Which international bowler does he remind you of?
Well, that's a good start. It's the way to announce yourself in front of the cameras. Beautifully clipped off the legs by Rawlins. Only needed the one back.
Yeah, just here. Just a little bit of Brett Lee about him. Just under 86 miles an hour, a little bit over pitched.
Gap plugged at mid-wicket. There's a dot to the end of the fourth. 30 for 2.
That was the difference between the two boundaries, one that went for 6 and 4, and then the wicket just more into the surface. Hence why he got more elevation, went straight up in the air. It's Michael Hogan who took the catch. Pressure on Jason at Gillespie. Sure, there is pressure. Well, there is always pressure on coaches, but there's not a lot you can do when he's sitting there in that dugout. What can you do? Can't put his pads on. He can tell you about the 200, which he normally does. He got in Bangladesh or Australia. He likes to tell you about that. There's not a lot you can do. David Visa on his right is not playing tonight.
Well, I'll throw that back at you now that you're on the coaching staff at Derbyshire. Because surely you've got to justify your job somehow, so there's got to be something you can do, isn't there?
Well, you do everything before the game, is what I'm trying to say. Mark, thank you very much. There's not a clipboard. I can hear Rob Key shouting. Sorry, is that...
Set your cones up, get your bibs out. What do you do?
He's had two ice creams. He's had 2 ice creams now. Don't give it your son. It's terrible. Well, it's about preparation. A little bit like, you know, you preparing for a test match. It's about knowing the opposition. Where we're looking to bowl. And then just say, good luck, lads. I'm off.
You know, your boss, Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright is boss.
Mr.
Yeah.
Wright's boss. So what you're basically saying is to Dizzy Gillespie and Crofty and all these boys is, well, there's nothing you can do. You go out there and win or lose, doesn't matter. You just keep your job for life, and there's no comebacks. Shot. That's magnificent. Well, Rawlins looks like he can strike a ball with or without the help of the coaches.
Well, there's nothing anybody can do there. If you see the ball and it's a length ball,
Why don't you just do this? Hit it straight out the park. Beautiful. Look at that flourish. Isn't it great to see left-handers who can just use their hands and get the ball, get their hands through the ball?
Thought you were going to say ones that can hit the ball for 6. That's what you meant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Whipped away into the leg side. That's been timed as well as anything we've seen. So is that it? We're done with the coach's chat.
I'm just going to take you through this. Look at he gets his hands through the ball. Beautiful. Now, what I was trying to say before you say the coach's job is there for life is what I'm trying to say is when the game starts, there's not a lot you can do. You can analyse afterwards. You just have to let them get on with it. And the more times you talk to people and say, don't do this, don't do that, it puts even more pressure. Anyway, 11 from the over, 41 for 2. I tell you what it is, though. It's horrendous when things aren't going well. And say that you're controlling the bowling department and you're thinking, well, we spoke about that, why are we doing this? And I have to sit away. I always sit elevated. I can't sit in the dugout because I'd be terrible. I'd be going, what are you doing? So I have to sit high up and just watch from an elevated position.
Yeah, a lot of the job is tied up in what you don't say as opposed to what you do say. Keeping your cool has got to be one of those big points. There are times as a coach in a dugout watching batsmen slog the ball up in the air or make bad decisions where you must feel like exploding as a coach. So look at that glorious strike down the ground from Rawlins. Everyone thinks we've got the best view in the house. You have to dive on the floor to see the ball down here.
I tell you what is enjoyable though, when the team does well or an individual does well, you enjoy it for them as well. I think that's something that for the last 2 seasons being involved in Derbyshire, when you see personal milestones or the team doing well or somebody doing something to win you a game. Matt Critchley this year won a game for us at Chesterfield, 17 off the last over. He hit, Tim Bresnan, but he hit Tim Bresnan for the 17, won the game with the ball to go. Those sort of wins really just lift you as not just as a team, but also as a coaching unit as well.
Well, a lot of talk about pitches here at Hove and their pace or lack of it. One thing's for sure, Delray Rawlins doesn't seem to be having any trouble whatsoever finding the middle of the bat.
And that was slightly a slower delivery out the side of his hand, so like a leg cutter.
Disappointment in the end for your lads at Derby. They had a chance, didn't they? Perhaps not in the last game that we televised, but the one before. Game that you should have won at Worcester, is that right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't get off to the best of starts, lost the first 4, won the next 4, then we went win-loss, and then loss-loss. So it's down to us why we've not really progressed. Simple. And I think what's been frustrating is the fact that we've not done the 2 parts or 3 parts of the job right altogether. One day we bat well and then we don't bowl well, we lose the game, or then we bowl well and we don't bat well. And I think that's the consistency of putting the 3 facets of the game together: bowling, batting, fielding. You can't do it every game, but if you can have part of the team that's doing it regularly, then all of a sudden you become a winning side.
Magnificent. That's high class from Rawlins. Very good indeed to end the power play. 48 for 2.
I remember it was Glamorgan who won the toss, decided to have a bowl first.
was Finch that got Sussex off to a good start. 22 from 11. Salt was the first to go. Little chip down to Donald at long gone. Finch continued. He became Glamorgan's second wicket. Good catch by Michael Hogan. Simply brilliant from Rawlins. Delray Rawlins has come in. Got a lot of pace on offer. He's raced on 17 from 7 balls. So power play done. And it's Sussex who are 48 for 2.
Watch the footwork here. Rawlins is trying to get on top of the bounce. He's on the front foot. Delivery, a lot of people may well have been rocking back on. Almost 2 feet off the ground in order to get on top of the bounce and then pinged it through cover. Meanwhile, at the other end, Laurie Evans, who's been in rare form himself, struggling to find the middle of the blade. I think this is the key here, isn't it, now? It's the communication between Evans, Rawlins, the rest of the dugout. What do we settle for here? What do we aim for? If you think, well, maybe we aim for 140 and then maybe get ourselves into a position where we might end up with 170. Difficulty on pitches like this that you can get yourself into is shooting for 170 and ending up getting bowled out for 120, 130.
I'd be definitely maybe thinking Evans has to bat the whole 20 overs, or as many of the 20 overs as he can. 50 up for Sussex. The way that this Rawlins stands up, look, stands up, punches it, clips it with a full face and then works it through with his wrists. I think if Laurie Evans is in 15 overs into the innings, all of a sudden 130 could get to 160. Then with their bowling unit, talked about it, Jordan Archer, Rashid Khan, Danny Mills, Danny Briggs and Timer Mills. A football on my brain.
You'll control the midfield, it'd be no problem.
Right
Those middle overs.
Right back.
One thing's for sure with Rawlins is a thoroughly modern way of batting. The right hand or the right elbow breaks. A lot of wrists through the ball. It's always going forward, doesn't seem to make any move backward whatsoever. Bit of movement and a bit of hesitation from Evans. 7 overs gone, 52 for 2.
I'm Captain Obvious, and this is Sally from York. She earned her award night with Hotels.com, so whatever happens, she's...
winning.
Still winning?
Winning. Still winning.
Hotels.com. Earn a reward night, feel like a winner.
Ray Rawlins looks in good touch. What I like about both the way he has played and Laurie Evans is they're trying to use their feet. Not a quick pitch. We talked about that at the top of the show. Almost trying to counter that. Sorted to continue 1 for 5. Inventive.
These runs, Rawlins in particular, start of the year, I had someone, a decent judge, mention his name. Let's have a look out. Lad down at Sussex, Delray Rawlins. So far, looks a good player.
Tight.
Two things. One, the point I just made about using your feet. getting to the ball, getting some energy when you play your shot rather than from a stationary position. The other thing I noticed is to stay leg side of the ball so you can really free those hands. Energy when he hits the ball.
School of thought, isn't there, that T20 is about the bowlers. That's what the most successful teams, the most consistent teams, they have the best bowling attack. The problem is, at times at Sussex this year, nice shot, firmly struck, didn't panic when he got a little bit too full as well. Good bit of fielding, good cricket all round. I'd say that Sussex have just gone just one step too far with having so much strength with the ball. It's just weakened their batting, also not helped by Luke Wright not being. But with this bowling attack, again, he's peppering that mid-wicket area. What a shot again. You don't always have to go aerial. You just have to hit the middle of the bat and pick the gap.
Trying to get it, Salter rather, trying to get it wide of off stump, but sometimes to the left-hander just means you can get, throw the hands at it a little bit, fetch it from outside of the stump. 8 gone, 61 for 2.
If you can get them up to 160, something like that. So on this surface it might be under par, but they have a premium bowling attack. Best spinner probably in T20 as well. Rashid Khan. Can they scrape up to that score? Something competitive.
Graham Wagg is entrusted with the final overs of the innings, but he's going to get an early one here.
There's a long boundary out where Rawlins is playing against Wagg here. Out to the leg side is a big boundary, not so much the other way for the right hander. So Evans, he has a shorter boundary onto the leg side, yet the angle of those cutters will be going away from him. There you go, short leg side boundary, much bigger boundary out there. Wagg is someone that bowls to the boundaries, bowls to that protection on the longer side.
Stop it again. Wrong-footed slightly.
Seen a few of them today. Kia Super League game we did earlier, there was a lot of reverse sweeps off seams. A lot of attempted reverse sweeps off seams. I think it's such a tough shot. There has to be better options before you have to go to that.
How did you enjoy your interview with Dale Stevens?
Yeah, he's on good form. I said to him, I said, have you been to Hove before? He said, yeah, no, I've been to watch Little Mix. Imagine what that's like though, getting ready to play against Manchester United.
You love that interview. Love your football.
Love playing football. Knowledge of it isn't great.
Heaved away, and it's not a big boundary. So it's the third six of the innings.
Picks up back of a length. I'm just fearing that this has smashed a window. Nick Knight said it's not a big boundary, it's not at all. Look at that. Straight into the window of the hospitality. What is he doing? He's got to be far too cool for the move he did earlier.
Wicked in action again. I'm sure if you get, I don't think you probably don't get any money for catches here. You do down at the Oval.
But I haven't done that, the chicken to someone since I was about 10. I mean, that is proper under 10. He must be 50, that fella. He's giving it the chicken move.
Flat battered. Decent over 9 from it, 70 up, 72, and the chicken.
Probably an account. They got a problem there, because that area could get peppered as well. There's a short boundary out to that side. It so often is. There's a few boxes by the scoreboard. Often when you're playing right over on the square as well, that area does get...
You get yourself some tickets for that Man U game.
Didn't ask that, actually. I was too busy trying to think of questions really to ask. You say it was the best footballer he played against? Coutinho.
Yeah, I'm not great on football knowledge. I was thinking it might be someone I might have heard of.
You haven't heard of Coutinho? Have you heard of Salah?
Mo. My buddy.
Who does Coutinho play for?
I've never heard. That's why I wouldn't know. Must be one of the big sides, so I'd say...
Who are the big teams?
Well, Man U, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. One of them. You don't know yourself, do you?
Plays for Barcelona. It was a song, wasn't it? There was that YouTube thing that went viral with the Liverpool fans singing the Salah song about Coutinho, how they sold it. Anyway. 2 attempts at something like this, not come off yet. And he just stands and delivers. He's a better player, Laurie Evans.
Yeah, an assessment of the pitch as well. You're right, he's a strong player, likes to hit down the ground. To play those shots, if there's a little bit of pace in the surface to do so, easy.
Not far away, boys on. Come on, Greggy. Go on the Glen. Straight out. Oh, man. Come on, man.
Really a great deal of pace. That's why third man is up. More ground for setting yourself, perhaps using your feet, trying to bash it down the ground. All the way powerfully, and a little mistake. He went quickly. Smith felt he could have done a little better in the end. It is not a big boundary. It is another 4-8 from it, 78 for 2.
We're calling a vote of no confidence on my dad. It'll be hostile, hostile, hostile.
committing yourself and hitting it hard in front of square. On the odd occasion, you get rewarded there. Should have stopped it.
It's quite a big moment as well, that, because as a batsman, you just live on boundaries. That just takes the pressure off you. Every time that boundary goes, you can take a deep breath, no matter who you are.
Yeah, Laurie Evans at the moment can just feed a little bit off Rawlins, because Rawlins is going so well. Strike rate 184. Evans not quite found his touch yet. Needs a bit of luck.
He's finally got it behind the keeper. Not as intended, but we've seen a couple of reverse sweeps. Tried to flip one straight over the keeper with like a frying pan shot. This time he manages it with an inside nick. Wag has to worry about the leg side. It's got to be Evans's plan A.
That's the way to go. Pick your bat up with real intent and whack it back down the ground.
Look straight, and if it's a fraction short of that, you can drag it into the leg side. Wag went full, but because he set that base, got the bat up, as you say, Nick Knight, he's then able to generate enough force to beat long on. Just set yourself there, a little step back, wide base, look to hit straight.
At the moment, comparing this pitch to one in India, but it's the sort of thing we used to talk about. We used to go to India, think about picking your bat up in the practice sessions a little higher, just to give yourself that momentum and that power to hit down on the ball. You get to places like Australia, perhaps you don't want to do that quite as much. But definitely on the slower pitches, nothing much for deflection.
Things like reverse sweeps against seamers as well, that has to be the last resort. There's so many other ways you can do it, even maybe if you're at the death and someone's bowling great York or something. But the risk is too high for this time of the innings. There's better options to get a boundary.
That's gone a long way up. Keeper calls it, should be a safe catch. Is indeed simple as you like. So he just mixes it up, Graham Wagg. Just bowled it into the pitch, slower ball, and gets his reward. Good innings though, comes to an end.
Yeah, Shane Rawlins was looking good. Just lost a bit of rhythm the last couple of overs. This time goes big into the leg side, gets nothing more than a huge leading edge. You always want the keeper to take those catches. Cook does the necessary. Wag smart bowling using the middle of the surface. Rawlins impressed, only 35 from 20. 85.
He's done a pretty good job for his team there. Pretty well placed, 85 for 3. With the bowling attack they have, Evans is just finding his touch, 24 from 26. He's a useful cricketer, Graham Wagg, both with bat and with ball. A terrific attitude, real fighter, never gives up, always thinking wickets. Strikers in Glamorgan. Nice score of 21, so hasn't got going at all in the Vitality Blast as yet. Pretty good over then. 8 runs from it, 86 for 3.
That's what Wag will do to the left-hander hitting to the longer boundary, who use the middle of the pitch, bowling slower balls and quicker balls into that leg stump. At times getting your hit to hit that way. Fuller and wider of off stump, as we just saw. He didn't get it right the last ball. That over to the right-handed Evans, and he tries to throw it wide of that off stump. 4.
Well, lots at stake for both these sides tonight. Glamorgan win, it's pretty simple for them. They will qualify in the top 4. As far as Sussex is, it's a little more complicated, but they pretty much need to win this game. If they don't, then they need results to go their own way. They played a game less, so they won't be out of it come, 9:30 tonight, but they're going to make it very difficult for themselves. Kent need one more win there, we'll see them through.
No results. 4 no results. Sussex. Sometimes it's a blessing to have a game in hand as long as you win.
Yes, love that song, team. Love that song.
North Group, well poised.
Who did I tip
Lancashire. That's right.
You all laughed at me.
No, we didn't laugh, but
criticised me.
No, we didn't. Got them tomorrow. Birmingham, Lancashire.
It was one of my favourite top of the shows there, where we had the Nick Knight Fake Awards, where we had to come up with who's the best team, who's going to win each group.
With about 6 games to go. No prizes.
Well done.
Butcher just went for whoever was top of that.
Yeah. Mind you, he went for Worcestershire, they're going pretty well, aren't they?
The team you wouldn't have picked up to put up there when we first saw them was Durham. Amazing turnaround, really.
Catch it!
It's gone out a long way. Off comes in and sets himself. Good catch. Pretty straightforward. Didn't quite find the middle of the bat there. Myron Donald has taken a simple enough catch, so just beginning to pick up wickets now.
This has been the problem for Sussex in this year's Blast. They continue to lose wickets. Often feel they're trying to wrestle back momentum all the time. Myron Donald, a good catch in the end. That went up a long, long way. Bruce will learn there's a better way to be hitting uphill into the wind. It's not easy. He goes for 189.
Jim by tie, togetherness.
Catch it.
And the boundaries and found them going easy, but he's still there and he's been their form player, Laurie Evans. 90 up, 90 for 4.
It's frustrating as well, because you keep losing wickets like this. It means that Laurie Evans has to then play for the side and make sure that he's there at the end. Start looking down the list and you think, well, Jordan can bat, Archer can bat as well. Rashid Khan, seen him in the IPL, gets some handy runs at times, but every single wicket just drags Laurie Evans back that little bit more.
Yeah, but give credit to Andrew Salter. Well, started proceedings. Might have just held that back a little bit as well. So it was excellent figures, 2 for 18 off 3. We said at the build-up. I think they've sort of used their resources well organised side with the ball in hand. They're showing that again.
Dive. Whether it was needed, we'll never know. You can't sledge the fielders in front of the pot. Where's your mate? You can't shout, "Don't miss it," as the ball comes down.
Lovely lad. respite now from me and you.
Change there, man. Back, mid off up.
Right there!
Used to drive him around in his Warwickshire days because rugby wasn't far from where I was living, so his dad used to drive him round and used to wait outside the gate. He wouldn't come in. Drive him round, then it took him about 6 or 7 journeys before he wouldn't put up with my radio, so he bought his own CDs. You can imagine his taste in music slightly different to mine.
What is your taste in music?
Just lyrics on the radio.
Come on, give us a band.
No.
Who's your favourite band? Who's your favourite artist? Name one artist.
Coldplay, I do like. Someone just shouted that in my ear.
Name me one Coldplay song.
Oh no, I can't do that. I can. If you tell me if I hear the tune, I know.
You like that? Was it Witness, the film, the Amish film?
What's that?
Harrison Ford has to go and live in the Amish community because there's a kid that's seen a murder. And the Amish people in that film, they don't have any electricity or technology or anything. And that's pretty much you. Good film.
Live out in the sticks, mate. Get the telly on too often. The lawn cut.
Catch it!
Come on. Not this film. Brilliant. Brilliant that from Graham Wagg. 94 for 4.
So when you play against Graham Wagg, you always knew you were in a battle. He's someone that would have more than the odd word, and he'd always let you know that he's coming for you. He's a really good competitor. What was he like to have in your side?
Well, he was the type of lad you wanted in your side rather than play against him. And with all these, when I used to play with him at Warwickshire, he was a young kid and he didn't quite. He's matured now and he knows his game much better and he's much better temperamentally. At times, you just used to haul him in and make sure he was behaving himself.
Oh, it's all
Now he can control that, make it work for him. Always a very talented lad. Always the type of lad, and you'll know this when you were captain again, you wanted to get him in the first team. You wanted to give him a chance to show everybody how good he was.
His batting would have come on a lot since then as well. He'd have been more of a bowling already.
And that will be a comfortable 6. Just set up, it was teed up. Dispatched.
See what he's trying to push it through that little bit quicker, but it's just a help yourself delivery. Laurie Evans obliges, sort of ball that is just going to ruin what has been so far excellent things.
On Graham, I remind you of that game we did at the Oval where they chased 194, I think, against Surrey. Graham Wagg played brilliant innings. He got about 46, I think, not out. 46. And the way he played was exactly the way he wouldn't have played 5 years earlier. Because he held his nerve. When he was a young, precocious talent who'd have lost his head a little bit in the early days. Now he's learned to deal with that pressure a bit better. Opens the gap just.
This is Salter to Bruce today, pushing it in on that leg stump line. Then the one that he comes down to, he tries to give himself just a bit of room. He just sees him coming, I think. That is excellent bowling. In at the pads again, and then I reckon he just sees him, sees that move, throws it wide, and that is excellent bowling.
Well, 11 runs to finish his spell. That's a good spell, though. 2 for 29 from 4, 105 for 4.
sun is setting down at Hove, the south coast, 105 for 4. Where Sussex find themselves with 6 overs to go. Morgan at the moment putting pressure on Sussex, not allowing them to really have to get boundaries. It's a difficult surface.
Yeah, the evidence has been there that it's not been straightforward to just go out there and swing from the hip, send the ball to all parts, but they've got themselves in a good position with 6 overs to go.
Well, we also talked about when we were last on, weren't we, that Laurie Evans needed to be there at 15 overs to maybe give them that opportunity to catapult them maybe to 150. Burgess, who's just come in 4 from 9, needs to get Evans on strike.
I always said in the IPLs that I've been on that when they were 4 or 5 down, you'd still back a team to get 10 and over from the last 5, 50 from 5. Hey, oh, that's gone. Mighty blow from Burgess.
Here's me saying, get Evans on strike, just bosh it out the ground, mate. Low full toss. Remember, it's hitting down the ground, so the ground falls away as it goes towards the front, the sea area, goes over the executive suites, short boundary on the leg side. Inside edge races away. You can hear Graham White shouting, oh no, he's standing right in front of us. Bit of fortune for Sussex, 10 from 2 balls.
You earn your luck sometimes. Thunderers blow down the ground. Just earned Burgess a bit of leeway. Again, the ball not bouncing as high as a batsman would like. Bottom edge. Bottom edge in play. I think both sides of the bat are in play on these pitches, aren't they? Turn your hands over a little bit too soon and get a leading edge. Bottom edge is in play with the shorter, wider deliveries. So best you don't bowl too many fullies.
Yeah, and also try and bowl it on the offside. Make them hit it to the bigger side. Just like that. Laurie Evans just taking strike. Good over for Sussex, 12 from it. 5 to go, 117 for 4.
Graham Wagg will be in the action. As always, in the final 2 overs. Whether they be the odd ones or the even ones. Mixing things up, bumpers, yorkers, slower balls, cutters. But right now, Sussex have got a couple of good strikers in at the moment, and they've got a couple to come as well in Archer and Jordan.
Well, I'm interested to see Archer as well. And the reason why I say I'm interested to see Jofra Archer bat is because he was elevated, if you remember, with like Rajasthan Royals. Out first ball. I think he got did he get a first ball the next as well? It was Shane Warne who obviously decided to throw him up the order. But he can bat. Chris Jordan can definitely bat. Experienced man. Michael Hogan. All the 16th over from the Cromwell Road end. In exactly the same way as you'd want them to hit towards the offside coming up from the C end, is it be exactly the same hit to the leg side. Get them to hit it to the biggest part on the leg side. It's short on the offside, so hence why everybody's back on the edge. You can see the captain there, Colin Ingram, going right on the edge. Get them to it leg side. That's okay, 1. Big believer in the last 5 overs is 1 a ball. It's brilliant for you as a bowling side.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. By the same token, the batting side, score off every delivery and pick up a boundary, you've got your 10. Or thereabouts.
Brilliant. That's what's difficult about bowling towards the end. You may get in the good Yorker or the good length ball, but when somebody can do that and just flip you over the keeper, it's very difficult.
No other thought in the mind of Burgess. Totally premeditated, has to be, in order to execute it properly. You get it right, it's impossible to stop.
Just the one pace off, little off cutter. Michael Hogan. He'd be happy at the moment. Colin Ingram won the toss, decided to have a bowl first. 123 for 4. Current rate gets him to 157. I think Sussex will be happy with that. Well, all the way for 6, dropped in the crowd. Slower delivery, 68.4 miles an hour. But Laurie Evans gets all of this.
Long side of the boundary, doesn't matter, really doesn't. Laurie Evans is a strong fella. And he gets a good piece of that. Unlike the gentleman trying to catch it in the crowd.
A shy, direct hit. Don't think they'll be able to pick up 2 because Laurie Evans was diving in. End of the 16, 13 from it, 130 for 4.
Well, so far they're well on track to pick up that 10 and over plus from the final 5. This is turning into a really good partnership between Evans and Burgess.
I just love the 007 theme tune. Brilliant, isn't it? Who is going to be the next Bond? Wait and see who that is. 24 balls to go. Rob Key knows who it is.
90, isn't it?
Well, as long as he can get rid of his Hornets at home, he's got a problem with his Hornets. Can't agree to anything at the moment.
It was the Pink Panther anyway, wasn't it? The Silver Hornet.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I'd just been in the car 3.5 hours coming from Derby, and then he said, "Can I tell you a story?" He's hurt the back of his knee trying to get out of the car because the Hornets got stuck in his car. But it took him 10 minutes to tell me. Wow, I nearly got in the car and went back home.
He's got that low release, low arm. An action that's really good for reverse swing. He also gets his slower ball Yorkers in there. Laurie Evans makes an invaluable 50. It's been an excellent knock. He's had to think his way through it. Just the 1-4, 3 sixes. He's putting his team in a really good position here. 3.5 overs to go.
Yeah, he's 5th of the season so far as well, leading run scorer. How Sussex needed this innings tonight. Pressurised game. Good from Weg. No, he's a wholehearted cricketer. Diving around. Have a grass burn now, though.
Yeah, probably lost a few layers of skin. Skidding around on the scarified tops of used pitches. Cross seam delivery that time. Gets hits it right on the block hole.
Brilliant again. Brilliant bowling, but also brilliant from Laurie Evans, because he follows him. He goes right the way outside off stump. Not a lot you can do, Waggy, seriously. Just admire this.
It's smart again from Evans. And he's thinking, I want to go leg side, short boundary to the leg side. But he doesn't allow that premeditated thought to override his actions. In the end, just waits for the ball, waits for it, and then taps it on the head, pass backward point.
Gets all of this as well. Not quite going for 6, but a good over. It's Sussex who are on the march. 50 partnership, 17 overs gone, 142 for 4.
Here is the 50 of Laurie Evans, formerly of Surrey County Cricket Club. Really has come into his own in the top order here for the Sussex Sharks. And without him, you wonder where they'd have scored any runs from.